This is my third tutorial on using layers and layer masks. Here I'm going to introduce you to a new layer mask tool, namely the gradient. So I'm going to bring in my images, open, I want a church, a dilapidated church as a background. I'm going to keep them as floating so that I can easily move one image on top of another. I now need a bride. And here she is. I'm going to bring her across into that image, and then I'm going to shut that one down. Now, I don't want the bride looking that way, I want her looking the other way. So I'm going to go up to image, I'm going to rotate. Now, because she's a layer as opposed to an image at this particular moment, I've lost my rotation thing, I can't just flip horizontal or the whole image will flip horizontal. So I've got to come down here to flip the layer horizontal, and I wanted her that sort of direction. I'm going to move her up here. She's rather tall in relation to the rest of the photo, so I'm going to just reduce her in size so I think she fits into the image. Move her slightly that way, and I'm happy with that. Now I want to reduce her opacity, not because I want to do something behind her this time, I just want to make her look rather more ghostly. Right, now I'm going to put a layer mask on that layer, and this time, instead of going to my brush over here, I'm going to go to my gradient tool. Now it's important that you choose the black and white gradient down here. So I'm going to go here, and I can choose any of those, that gradient or that gradient, because I need the black and the white. Remember, the black reveals, the white hides. And choose that one, and then I'm going to go up here, and we'll see some of that dress disappears in quite a nice ethereal kind of way. Now if I'm not happy with that, I can just do it a bit higher. And just really mess about till I get what I want. That's the sort of image I'm looking for. I'm now going to bring in a third image, because you can bring in as many images as you like here. I'm trying to get a sort of ghostly effect. Now I've got some lights from Canal Tunnel. Now again, I want the lights coming from a different direction, so as this is still an image in its own right, it's not appearing on top of here, I can go up to image, rotate, and I can just flip horizontal, and that gives me the direction I want. I'm going to move it across to this image, and I'm going to shut this one down. Now because I made a change, it's going to ask me whether I want to keep the change, and I don't, so I'm going to say no. Right, now I've got this image here, and I want to rotate it because I want it, I'm going to reduce its opacity over on the right at the top here. I want it to appear as if it's coming out of this window towards the bride. So I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to move it up a bit. Right, I'm going to make it a bit smaller, I think, because I want more of it in the scene. I still want that light to come about there. I want it a little bit more rotated across the bride. Shift it up there. That's about where I want it. Okay, so I'm happy with that, so I'll tick that. Now of course I've got a large area of black to get rid of. Now I can try the gradient, but I don't think it's going to work because I've got too much square around here. But let's just show you what its effect might be. Now at the moment I've got the white in front, so let's move it to that way round, and let's see what happens. And it's actually quite an interesting effect, but not the one I was looking for. And the reason is that I had forgotten to put a layer mask here. I have put a gradient over the complete image. But of course we lose the light. So I'm going to go Control Z, so I undo the gradient. I'm going to put a layer mask on here. Remember to click on the correct layer. Right, now let's try the gradient and see what happens. As you see, it just removes a little bit here, but we've still got this large blocky square, so that's not much use to us. So I'll Control Z, and I'm going to go to my usual brush, and I'm going to get rid of quite a lot of all this black here that I really, really don't want. I've got to be careful because I don't really want to get rid of too much. I obviously don't want it coming past this wall because it wouldn't have been there. Let's have that down there. I don't think I want it past that either, so let's get that there. Don't forget I can always change things afterwards if I go too far. Right, so I'm just doing a fairly rough whiz around at the moment to get rid of some of the worst bits of it, and then I can go into it a bit more carefully later on. Right. Okay. Right, I'm going to dock this now, push it up against the top line because it's rather easier to expand and subtract and to be able to see what I'm doing if I block it. Now I do want her to be visible as far as I made her visible, so I need to now, I don't think I'm going to have this big bright area there. I'm going to cut down across there. I'm trying to make it look as natural as possible, but without losing too much of the effect. But obviously you don't always want. In fact, I think I'm going to lose all that because that was a bit bright, wasn't it? A bit too wide, it looked a bit odd. So I'm going to come down this line, try and stay as close to it as possible so that I don't see any of the dark imagery around there. Move across here, get rid of this very square blocky end here, come in a bit. Down. It's these square blocky ends that are awful. So keep going round these until I get the desired sort of effect. Which is not like that by and large. So I think I'm going to put some back actually, it looks a bit odd. So I'm going to actually bring it back. I want a bit more. If I do it up to that windowsill, actually what I want to do is make it a bit larger. I don't think it's quite large enough to make it reach the place I want to reach. That's right, if I can reach right to the edge, that will look a bit more natural, I think. Right, so I'm happy with that. Whenever you're doing this kind of stuff, you really have to keep just playing about with it until you get the effect that you want. Now, I think it's not quite over the bride, but that doesn't really matter. I've lost it a bit down here, but never mind, never mind. Basically it's just to give you the general idea that you can put several images together and create the sort of effect that you want to create. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the smudge tool to make those ends a little bit less sort of ethereal, a bit less, push them out a bit, push them out, particularly here. I'm actually going to decrease the opacity. I've done too much smudging, so it's taking a while to catch up on that. Right, here we are. Let's just decrease the opacity of that. That's better, and then we don't have such definite ends. I'm still not very happy with the position of it. I'm going to shift it. I wanted it back here, and I wanted it over the person. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And we go back to our brush and just do a bit on there. I think that's going to look reasonably alright, hopefully. Oh gosh, I keep clicking that when I don't need to. When you do it to the edge of the wall, it makes it look more likely, doesn't it? Reasonably ethereal. Right, so once you reduce the opacity, you can then make it look a bit less strange. Quite useful to use edges to stop your brush. Let's go down into here. What I'm looking for then is the effect of a sort of ghostly woman coming into this area with some ghostly lights shining across her. And I think we're nearly there now. I think I'm reasonably happy with that. Perhaps not the best of creative images, but sort of it's always worth having a go at doing this kind of thing. Let's have a look. Let's go to the edge of her dress. It makes a nice stopper, doesn't it, for the edge there. And we'll do the same a bit higher up. Let's make it bigger. Always easier to see what you're doing when things are larger. Alright, just go around here. Seems good. Look quite reasonable at the end of it, but obviously if you're doing it for real, you'd want to take a lot more time, a lot more care. And of course, if you save it as a PSD or a TIFF, you can come back to it and make as many changes as you like without having to concentrate and do it all in one go. So I'm just going to go there, around that one, and that one. Right, I think that looks alright. Not up there. Do a little bit more, get away from it. I'm going to again use the bride as the stopper. Well, the top wall as the stopper is quite a good place there. Okay, so now we have our image of a bride ghostly bride appearing in this old church. Quite easily done, again by using our layer masks. So now you can save it as a different picture and you've got something that you can use, something a little bit more interesting than just the straightforward pictures that you started with.